when you were going through this journey, you take this decision to make YouTube videos, to make content. Did you ever get wrapped up in like views? How beautiful am I? Makeup? Because I feel like that can get so toxic for people. And I think now what we're seeing so much of is creator burnout. So there's one side that I want to talk to you about, which is like likes, views, comments, engagement. Like, how do you deal with the pressure of that? Like, you upload something and it doesn't get views. And the other side is when you actually get good at it, and now you're like knocking out videos, you're getting views, everything's going well. But we meet so many creators today who just say, I'm tired of putting stuff out. Like, I'm burnt out of having to upload every day to 3 different platforms.
I never worried too much about views. And I know that that's a really hard thing to say in a world where our job is valued on followers, views, likes, clicks, and that really is how we're valued. But at the time on YouTube, I started my very first videos with products I use today in my skincare routine. And that's 10 years ago because I genuinely love these products. I was shopping at Sephora. I love prestige beauty. I was a little bit older in the YouTube age. A lot of the people were in either high school or they were very young. And what they were sharing was not genuinely the products that I loved. And so I could have fallen into this trap of, I care about virality. I care about what's trending and I'm going to use these products, but it wasn't genuine to who I was. So I had a slower growth. And I said, I love these brands and these products. I'm going to create videos around this content and I'm not going to be the fastest growing, and that's okay because it's true to who I am. And so if I thought about the longevity of my career, it was more important to me to create content that I genuinely liked and products that I genuinely loved versus chasing views, because virality, maybe people will click on it and watch it because they care about this trending product or this theme, but they're not getting to know you. And it was more important for people to like me for what I genuinely wanted to talk about, because I can't really create content if I don't love it, and I just won't do it. It's just not something that I like. And I think that was a problem I had when TikTok first started, was I didn't want to create content just for like the sake of virality. And so on YouTube, I grew a little bit slower, but I started working with luxury beauty brands. And at the very beginning, they weren't really spending money with people, but they saw like there's only a handful of girls on YouTube who are creating content around Armani Beauty and Laura Mercier and these kind of brands. And then I ended up getting to work with them because there wasn't a lot of people sharing it. And so I started working with Sephora at that time and creating videos for their brand pages because they wanted an organic type of video that wasn't a sponsored brand video. And so it was a slower growth for me, but I think it's helped me be where I am today, because what you don't want to do is create content that's just for the sake of being viral. And then, well, what happens then? I have a friend who, she used to be an editor and she left and she's creating content full time now. And there's this trend of people kind of taking like editorial beauty news content and regurgitating it into TikToks. But then you're just retelling a news story and there's nothing personal about it with you. And sure, people are going to watch it. It might get millions of views, but you're not really building your personal audience. And so now that we've created more things for ourselves, I'm so happy that I always kind of stay true to the kind of content I wanted to create, because if not, then you're always going to be in this hamster wheel of creating things for the views and you're never going to really feel satisfied by that. It is frustrating when something doesn't perform well and you want it to do well. And like, it is our job. And like, you know, brands work with us because they want a certain reach or number. And so that stuff is important. And that will come if you create the content that your followers really want to see from you. And then I think, you know, there's been phases of burnout for me because being a creator, there's no job security, there's no hours, there's no health benefits. We have no teams a lot of times. And so it is this scarcity mentality of every time a job comes in, you want to say yes to it because you don't know when the next thing is coming. And so you want to do all the things that you can. But I think in time I learned I have to take a step back and not say yes to everything because it's better for myself long term, and the things will come. But I know it's difficult, especially if you're just starting out, because you are really based and judged on a number.
Yeah, I think that's so refreshing to hear that from you. Like, I hope that there's so many people listening to this right now that are going, Marianna, thank you so much for saying that, because I think everyone feels that pressure, but you just explained something really beautifully, that you can have a lot of views, but people are not necessarily watching it for you or understanding who you are. And therefore, every video you post can get lots of views, but it's not like people are really interested in your viewpoint or your perspective, right, or your thoughts. And I think we get those two things mixed up. We think that virality and followers means influence. And actually, it doesn't mean influence at all, because if people only see you as entertainment, they're not going to suddenly listen to your perspective on something you should buy or something you should use or your expert opinion. And so that's what I'm hearing from you. And I hope that gives people a lot of confidence, because I think it's very easy to chase the views. I know there's someone I'm thinking about right now who makes amazing content and it doesn't get a lot of views, but it's built him a really good business. And he's trying to get more views in Virality. I'm like, no, like this is building real value because your content's so awesome. You're actually attracting real companies who want to work with you privately because of the value that they see. And that's what your journey says too.